Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today and joining us for our third or fourth episode of Startup Seat here at York Angels. I'm your host, Emma Fuller, the Deputy Executive Director here at York Angels. I'm joined here today with Albin Jerome and Sarit as well, the founder who's going to be presenting today. Let's get started with the new episode. I'm going to pass it first to Albin and then to Sarit to introduce themselves, and then we'll get started.
Wonderful, Emma. Thanks for having me join me on your podcast today. Um, Hi, everybody. My name is Albin Jerome. I'm on the board of York Angels. It's very exciting to see great startups, and we're hoping this series, puts the spotlight on many startups that don't get enough of attention out there in the investment space. And for our watchers, we have a great startup today, a fabulous story. Why don't I pass it on to the founder to tell what they do and the great impact they're doing in their industry.
Thank you so much, Emma and Alban. I'm really happy to be here today and for the opportunity to present Seeteria and the solution that we are building. And we really believe that what we do is really reinventing forklift safety, and I can't wait to start telling you about how we do that. Facilities are putting so much money into preventing forklift accidents. They use training and audit and signage and sensors and body tags, but accidents keep happening. That should and can be changed. What if they just knew that the solution is already up there in their settings? Forklift accidents happen everywhere. Over 90% of all forklift drivers will experience an accident during their careers. That causes a cost of 59 billion every year in lost productivity. And if you just look at a single accident, they cost in direct cost $180. This is so costly and can be prevented. So, how do we do that? Uh, our software connects to the safety cameras that are already on site and we process the video. So, what's going on behind the scene? First, when we analyze the video, we create a special map of the environment. Then, on top of the map, we identify the objects, the people, the workers, and the vehicles. And from then, we add the analysis, we add the direction of the objects, their location, their speed, so we can predict on time when a high risk for accident is happening. Our users, we have two kinds of users. One is the drivers, and the other one is the managers. For the drivers, when we spoke to drivers, they told us, guys, we have so much noise around us and so many distractions. Don't give us more distractions. What we need to have is a pinpoint, timely alert in a very simple interface so we know exactly when we need to act to prevent the accident. And this is exactly how we built our app. The app is running just on a simple tablet mounted on the forklift and alerts the drivers on time. The managers, they also get the real-time events notifications, so they will have control of what's going on the floor, and they get a full dashboard that shows them everything that is happening on the floor, on the yard, all the risks that happened, all the close calls, and also recommendations of what they need to change to get better safety and productivity on their sites. We also generate a map of all the routes that each vehicle is going through in the facility. When we follow the vehicles, we let the managers know exactly where are the high risk and the high traffic areas and where there are bottlenecks, so they can handle all of that and do the changes needed, again, to prevent high risks and to improve the productivity. Our target market. We target all companies and facilities where people and vehicles share the same space. These are fulfillment and freight and logistics companies and of course manufacturing and ports. And when we started, it was just forklifts. But when customers challenged us with more industrial and heavy vehicles, we expanded our algorithms. So we are now supporting also yard trucks and tractors, and we are completely ready to train the algorithms and support more heavy vehicles if needed. The market that we are looking on is so big. There are over than 13 million forklifts in use globally. And in North America, there are 7 million. So, by a cost of $400 per forklift per month, even if we just will be able to sell to 1% of that, we are looking on a monthly income of $52 million. The traction that we have so far, we have conducted 4 successful pilots, and we have a funding, we received a funding in SAFE of $450. These are Canadian dollars. And we have secured a grant of 100, not of course non-dilutive, it's funding from OCI and Rogers. And we are now working with Coca-Cola, doing 2 pilots with the amount of that they are paid pilots with the amount of $50,000. Our go-to-market strategy is currently built on direct sales. This is very important to us because now what we are creating are good use cases and ROI. And when we create this traction, at that phase, we will expand. We will have a larger sales team and we will start creating partnerships and integrations with other software solutions for safety. We are looking to raise $500,000. The money will be used only for business purposes. This is because the part of the heavy lifting of building the R&D is already completed. Our product is built, tested, validated by OCI, and is already running in the Coca-Cola facilities. So the money will be used to getting more customers, to getting more income, enlarging our customer base, and generating revenue, where we expect 750,000 in 18 months. Other companies, they use sensors. Sensors are mounted on the forklift. People wear them on their bodies with body tags. This is very costly, tends to break, a lot of maintenance, a long implementation, and also very limited. Because when you use a sensor, the sensor only gets the perimeter of the forklift. When we use the cameras, we see everything. It's a bird's eye view. So we see what's all the blind spots. For example, when a vehicle is coming from behind the corner, when a person stands behind a machine or behind a rack, we see everything. There are other solutions that use the camera analysis, but they do not supply preventive alerts. What they do is give the managers all the information after the events have been happening. I guess this is the time to present our team. You already know me. I'm the CEO. I'm responsible for business and for the company growth. Maoz, my partner, who is also my husband, he's the AI wizard and he's responsible for building the product. Thank you so much. And now I'm ready to answer everything you want to ask me.
Well,
Awesome.
first of
Thank you
all,
so much, Sarit. I'm going to pass the Q&A session to Alvin because I don't know if the viewers can tell, but I am a little under the weather today and not feeling the best. We really enjoyed listening to your presentation and learned quite a bit, but Alvin, I'm sure you have a few kind of follow-up questions.
so first of all, Sari, lovely presentation. I
Thank you.
understand this is like we said earlier, many industries that don't get the spotlight, right? Because uh, when's the last time most people thought about a forklift?
Well, people do not drive a forklift or are not working with any kind of facility like that. You're right. They do not have forklifts in mind, but you will be surprised, I think. When I talk to people and tell them what we are doing in Seeteria, you will not believe how many people tell me that they used to drive forklifts, maybe in college, maybe some kind of summer job, or the partner did, or somebody else from the family. So this is
That's interesting.
this, yeah, it was really surprising, but yeah, well,
I would not think that forklift would be a unifying factor, but it is apparently one.
apparently, yeah.
Your husband and your partner has deep AI experience. Uh, how does that translate in an industry like this? How does that add value to building a product like this?
So my business background is in working with high-tech organizations and software teams, and I have been building software organizations and helping building activities for around 20 years now. And Maoz started writing software as a young child. That's over 50, almost 40 years ago. Yeah. 14 years back, he discovered AI and he understood that that's what made him super excited. And he's worked with startups and he helped them building their solutions from the prototype phase into go to market. And he also made it his goal to work with computer vision, now known as AI vision.
I think that's the best thing, right, about AI is that it's been changing the way we operate for a while. Um, so, from a non-technical perspective, right, uh, how does this whole thing work? Forklift facilities, OSHA compliant, they're not new problems. So, what is or why is this the right time for an AI solution?
It's the right time from several perspectives.
Mhm.
One is that we can do that. Until now, until like 3 or 2 years ago, if somebody would have approached me with this problem, I couldn't build what we are building now. And this is because the technology was not ready. And what I'm talking about is the big NVIDIA. NVIDIA released their Jetson Orin processor, the one that is used in electrical machines. And this enables us to do all the analysis on site because until then we had to do it on the cloud. And when you have seconds or milliseconds to let the drivers know when they need to move the wheel or press the brakes, you can't do that on the cloud.
That is true. We've got far better technology today. Uh, Technology aside, do you think regulatory requirements that exist in this industry are a bane or a boon to you, right? Do they increase your adoption curve or do they slow you down?
Of course, when you look at boards of organizations, when you look at governments, uh, when you even talk to insurance companies and the insurance brokers that meet with the managers, they all tell the managements, you are accountable. Okay? You must have eyes on the ground. You need to make sure that your workers, that your team, every one of them goes back home in the end of the day exactly like they have arrived in the morning, safe and healthy.
It's a boon for you guys. That's wonderful. You're raising about a $500,000 at this point. What are you planning to unlock with this capital? Do you have specific goals you want to achieve with this runway?
The product is ready. We do not need to invest anything in R&D. What we need now is to go out there, go to the market, pitch to more customers, get traction, and be the standard of forklift safety. And I'm saying forklift all the time, but this is also tractors and truck yards and every heavy vehicle that is used in manufacturing and in logistics.
That kind of opens up a very interesting thought process, right? Given that safety is such a critical aspect, do you feel any resistance from the users? Or do you feel like they're just going to love you, that you're just going to have user and buyer synergy from your first calls?
You know what? When I'm calling and some or meeting and somebody is telling me, I don't feel comfortable, this is just great because it creates a discussion. And then when we tell them exactly how the technology work and that we keep the privacy of every worker, we do not save the videos. What we do is we analyze them on real time. The information is used to alert the drivers, to build the dashboard, but everything that is saved is only numbers, zeros and ones. So there's no issue of privacy.
Nice. So a lot of unions and safety officers must love the product because it solves their needs without having to compromise on privacy or any kind of discomfort of being monitored.
Exactly, exactly.
Let's circle back to the capital that you were trying to raise, Sari. Have you raised capital before for this? Have you gotten any kind of non-dilutive grants? Tell us about of your journey in that aspect.
When we just started testing the product on potential customer sites, then we raised 300,000 in US dollars. That was on safe. We have been using this amount to build the product. Since our R&D team is very small, we just have Maoz and one other developer. We've been using this money and the rest is just our money. We've been bootstrapping. And uh, the funding that we have received, the non-dilutive funding, we've worked very hard for that. This is some founders thinks it's simple money, but it's not, because when we are working with OCI, we have been need to prove that we are doing an actual innovation product, but the synergy is great, and we receive a lot of support, and we are really appreciate that.
That's wonderful. And speaking of funding and the fact that you're building a product, where do you see the product continuing to evolve? I know you mentioned forklifts is just your foot in the door, and you're talking about other, vehicle operators. So can you walk us a bit through that? Like show us a bit about, what the next product's evolution would look like.
Our goal is to work with large companies who have multiple sites and large fleets. So some of them, when you look at the profiles, for example, we are now doing starting a pilot with a freight company. So what they are asking us is to monitor both the trucks and the forklifts. So with that, we can reach out to more companies in this kind of profile.
Do you feel like with this process that you're heading down with these companies, there is a need to slow down your development and adapt to each particular clientele you bring on board, or is it now basically plug
No,
and play that you just expand and grow from?
not at all. when we start an implementation, a pilot or implementation process, I hate the term plug and play.
I mean, it is an industry term.
Well, but yeah, that's actually how it works. All we need to do is to come over, bring our computer. You remember the NVIDIA one, connect to the IPs of the cameras, put the tablets on the forklifts, and that's it. And it's also very easy uh, to expand to more sites from the same company, because when the management already knows how to use that, it's very simple.
That's actually great, which means your scalability is very, very fast. All you need is just to get the momentum, and then it's just you in multiple locations with
Yeah,
every.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's fabulous to
Yeah, and
hear.
that's our business plan, and we made sure that the technology supports that.
That is wonderful.
Thank
So,
you.
sorry, one last question, right? What do you see as your long-term goals now?
Our long-term goals is to be the safety solution for heavy vehicles for every company that uses those kind of vehicles.
Wonderful.
No, this is ambitious, but we believe in our product, and we know that we can be this company.
That is fabulous. Very, very happy to hear that.
Thank you,
And I
Albert.
think with that, Emma and I are done with questions. I know that a lot of our viewers will have questions which they can reach out to you. And I'm guessing, Emma, this is where we plug in all her contact.
Yes, yes, of course. So that pretty much brings us to the end. I want to say I enjoyed being a fly on the wall. I know I wasn't too active in the discussion part of the call, but I did enjoy listening to you and Albin discuss. I want to thank you so much for being here. Albin and I really appreciate it, and it's always nice to showcase innovative startups. Me personally, I actually haven't had the chance to sit down with anyone who is targeting forklift, even though that is your kind of first step in the door. So it was really interesting to overhear and listen how
Full,
you play.
because every time somebody will talk about forklifts with you, you will have us in mind.
There we go. Of course, absolutely, we will.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we will leave all of your kind of links in the description below. So to your LinkedIn, also the company LinkedIn, and we'll ensure to have your details there so that anyone listening will be able to find you easily and able to reach out if they have any questions or anything like that.
That's wonderful.
Of course. So, other than that, I think that's all we have for today. So, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to everyone who's listening. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.